Welcome back. Now, incidents of terror and related attacks have made the headlines over the years, with tragic stories of a given number of people having died and so many others being injured. As time goes by, the incidents get left behind. Many policy and administrative promises and pronouncements are made. While the public eye sees less of the intricacies, there are people who do not lose sight of the reality of the attacks: survivors and the bereaved. In some areas, the threat is still alive, so much so that some roads are not usable. Even high-level leaders, to their own admission, cannot use these roads at will. NTV's Melita Oletenges went down to Lamu County, tracing 5 sisters in Kiunga who escaped death as they were on their way to school back in 2017. The military vehicle they were traveling in ran over an improvised explosive device, leaving people dead. Their physical scars are evident, but what they are yet to progress from wounds to scars are the psychological and emotional hits on them, the trauma. They may have made it past that terrain of terror, but are still navigating the terrified psychological terrain. Their experience on that fateful day and beyond on tonight's special feature, Terror Terrain.
The early morning sun strokes Lamu Island as though with a wand, offering affirmation to those who have described such views as magical. As the sunrise plays a dance with the waters, the picture here is a whisper of calm. Tranquility has grabbed a comfortable seat on the waters and everything around them. But this is not the full story. Beyond, before and beneath the scenic views are dull, heavy clouds, abysmally dark shadows and wounds, some of which are yet to turn to heal into scars. The full story of victory for this tourist haven and world-renowned heritage site is yet to be fully written. Parts of it are still being penned. Some of these are the stories of terror. We are at this collage of beauty and pain, on a mission to hear and see firsthand tales of survivors of terror, specifically people who were involved in an improvised explosive device attack on 27th June 2017 on their way to Kiunga from Mararani in the county of Lamu. Our journey will lead us to one of the most remote places in the country, Kiunga town, along the Kenyan coast, less than 15 kilometers from Somalia and bordering Boni Forest. Getting there is not easy. We come face to face with a manifestation of terror in this area in the past.
It is about 6:30 a.m. here in Lamu Island, and we are about to begin our journey to Kiunga via Mkokoni, and we are traveling by boat, a journey that would take us about 2 hours from here. Years back, you would have taken this journey by road from here in Lamu to Kiunga, a journey that would take about 4 hours, 180 kilometers, but that is suspended because of security reason. Going by boat is a treacherous journey, one that is not for the faint-hearted, but we have to brave ourselves in order to achieve the task ahead.
Our journey begins from Lamu Island to Mkokoni. The morning ride is safer because the sea is calm. Along the way, the little-known islands of Kiwayu, Pate, Faza, and from afar, Boni Forest, where the road from Hindi to Kiunga passes through. After 2 hours, we finally dock in Mkokoni to connect our trip by road. There is the option of traveling straight to Kiunga, but the water channels are risky because of the high tide. This rickety car is the only available means of transport to get us to our destination. A 40-minute ride would take us through a dense section of Boni Forest. We do not know what to expect. It is a tense ride. But locals seek to assure us that the Kenya Defence Forces has secured this road, which years ago was a dangerous stretch. The area is, however, still an active operation area and bears the fear that it's still risky, especially for non-locals. We arrive in Kiunga town and a relic of an emblem bearing the town's name welcomes us here. We can only be here for a few hours as it's not safe to spend the night here. Mumina, Rukia, Halima, Izoe and Memba are all from the same family. 2 sisters and their cousins. The smiles on their faces easily mask what they have been through. When we sit down for an interview, the masks peel off, one traumatizing memory at a time. In 2017, they had a brush with death. They were going to school in Kiunga from their home in Mararani, where they had gone for Eid al-Fitr celebrations. They had boarded a KDF lorry, the only available means of transport in the area at the time. But their journey was cut short after the lorry ran over an IED.
Tulipofika kati tukasikia gari karuka. Sisi wenye tulidhani gari imeingia shimoni. Kumbe gari imelipuliwa. Ikaruka mara 3 na kudunda chini gari. Haya kitambo kidogo sikaona nini moshi. Tulikuwa tuonane ndani. Na milio ya risasi kwa wingi. Kuna milio ya risasi kwa wingi. Kisha nikaona ile kichwa ya gari kachomeka vibaya sana. Na tulikuwa tuonane, sikumbuki nilishuka vipi yani. Nilijiona tu nikiwa msituni mimi. Mimi na marafiki zangu wengine tuliachana huko. Mimi nilitoroka na kuna msichana mwingine hapa nilitoroka naye. Nilikuwa natoka na damu nyingi sana. Yeye pia alima vibaya.
Mshambulia gari mpaka saa 12. Nasikia wakivunja kuni. Na shababu. Baki peke yangu. Nikaketi, nikakaa hapa msituni nisikia. Kuna mtu ana kisu. Shababu. Ametoka kisu. Anasema kimwona huyu mtu atamchinja.
As the other 4 successfully ran from the scene of the incident, it was a different story for Mumina, who was still in the woods and close to the Al-Shabaab militia, who was still roaming the area. Her leg had been badly injured. She couldn't run.
Lakini kabla watu hawajafika kunichukua, Al-Shabaab kuna mmoja alikuwa amenikanyaga kwa mguu wangu. Ile mguu umeumia. Alipoondoka tu na wale watu wamekuja. Ndio hapa yule mjomba wangu akasema maiti yake ni hapa. Nikamwambia sijakufa, niko hai. Lakini nataka maji, nimeumia mguu tu. Na hapo mjomba wangu akiingia hapo, yeye alikuwa amenikanyaga mguu wangu. Nimechukana anasema ni miti. Huyu ni miti, anioni, hajaniona. Akaingia msituni. Hapo ndo mjomba wangu kaanza kuokota ile mtandio. Ndio watu wakaniona hapa.
From their recollection of the incident, the trauma they went through is evident.
Nilikuwa msituni, nimeshika nyama ya mtu hivi. Kuna kijana mwingine tulitoka naye. Uniambia hata kuna nyama. Mimi nilikuwa nikimwambia mimi sina kitu. Yeye ndo alinifungulia mkono ndo akatoa hiyo nyama. Ndo akaitupa. Nilikuwa sijifahamu mpaka nilipofika nyumbani. Huko kama wiki moja iliyopita ndo nikaanza kusikia kidogo. Nilipofika nyumbani mama alikuwa akininenesha, akiniongelesha lakini mimi nilikuwa sisikii. Muangalia tu.
Maisha yangu ya shule nilikuwa sababu kila wakati ninaona kichwa. Mara naenda shule ninaenda. Nasikia vibaya sana kwa sababu maisha yetu ilibadilika. Nasikia nini? Najisikia kulia.
Maimuna's right foot was amputated and she now uses a prosthetic foot. Izoe's back is scarred as particles from the blast landed on her back. Halima, Rukia and Memba suffered burns as well as external and internal injuries.
Wakati wiki mbili mguu kani bado natoa uchafu tu. Merudi tena hapa akasema rudisheni. Mguu umekatwa. Mara 3 mguu umekatwa. Kwa sitaki mguu kati lakini mbele ya paka mkubali. Sababu nilikuwa nanipa shida mguu.
Yusuf Kitete Abala who is the girl's guardian, was in the same vehicle, and just like the girls, the incident changed his life.
Melepuka hizo vilepuzi, huwezi jua yani imetoka vitu hii wapi wala wapi. Maana ukiwa kwa gari unaona gari imepelekwa juu, basi pengine inawakia juu moto, ama ikianguka ndio inawaka, hujui tena vile. Unaona, utajijua kama hujakufa, umeanguka mahali after masaa, ndio utajiona wewe uko hai, ndio unaanza kutoroka tena kama hujapatikana tu. Mungu wangu hali yake hivi sasa nakwambia ni kama 4 years mimi sifanyi kazi ngumu. Kazi yenyewe, kazi ambayo najiweka mguu pande hii, ndio napata kufanya kazi kidogo kama kwa shamba hivi, lakini siwezi kujizungusha hivi speed nitaanguka. Bado naona na maumivu na sikupata msaada wote.
Asha Asumani, who is also a guardian to the girls, spends days lost in thoughts. She has had to do a lot of chores for the girls because of how the injuries disadvantaged them.
Mtu kama hana mguu ni shida tu, ya mtu uko na shida. Lakini tunashukuru kwa sababu uko uhai, hajakufa. Ule ingine ule memba hata kupika anashindika. Akiona moshi kidogo akiingia kwenye moto anasikia vibaya. Mara kwa mara anauma kichwa, anaenda hospitali, anarudi.
Yusuf relocated to Mokoe, where he considers to be more secure. The threat of the IED is still real back home, and he feels unsafe living there.
Changamoto ambayo inafanya usalama isiweko, hakuna barabara ambayo sisi tunapita, ni bodaboda unatumia kama binadamu, unahepa barabara.
While the victims of terror look to the county government for help, Governor Issa Timami says they are limited in their ability to assist as would be desired, owing to factors such as access.
Even as governor, I just can't get into my car and drive to those areas. You have to get clearance. It is a very cumbersome procedure, and not only that, it is a threat because of IEDs that they keep putting on our roads. I can tell you now that even when we have our medical personnel going to those villages, they have to be taken there by the army, helicopters and so on. So they are in an area which is really not accessible. We have projects that we want to undertake there, and no contractor is willing to go and undertake these projects. So you have to have that in perspective.
After hospital kuna maisha. Hapo serikali pia inafaa iangalie. Hawa watu ni maskini na wamepatikana na jangwa. So kuna wafadhili wengi na wengi. Serikali angalau lazima iwape mkono. Angalau huu mtoto apewe kama ni elimu ya bure, ama apewe special need at least. Sababu kama serikali uwezo iko nayo, na hawa watu hawa waliumia wakiwa wanaelekea kutekeleza jukumu la haki yao ya kusoma. So hawa watu kama hawa wanafaa wasaidiwe.
Kiunga is riddled with tales of terror and trauma that sometimes feels like a life sentence. This is the situation in different villages within Boni Forest and those that border this dangerous forest. And even as the country continues to heal from scars of terror, and the men in uniform put their best foot forward in combating the Al-Shabaab militia, the question of psychosocial support to victims of terror comes to play in order to uplift their spirits and make life bearable for them. The Al-Shabaab militia plant explosive devices in Maram roads, making it difficult to know where the trap has been set. Worst hit counties are Garissa, Wajir, Mandera and Lamu. Many roads have been rendered impassable because of the booby traps. The Garissa-Mandera highway. This has instilled fear, more so in non-locals who are traveling from Lamu County, headed to the northern counties and are forced to go through Nairobi. A review of the incident reports reveals that there were about 38 IED blast incidents between 2011 to 2015, leaving 339 civilians and 89 security officers dead. Between 2017 and 2021, more than 40 fatalities of both civilians and security officers have been recorded. There has been a drop in the number of IED attacks in 2022 and 2023. The Kenya Defence Forces has reported to have safely detonated improvised explosive devices and botched many attacks in the north. The National Counter-Terrorism Centre says it has been working to eliminate the threat alongside the National Intelligence Service and the KDF.
I would really say that our communities are becoming more and more enlightened, and they'll be the first ones to tell you if there is an issue happening, if there is a radicalizer, there is a recruitment going on. So a lot of success as an agency is going to the grassroots and engaging the whole of community. So with that enlightenment, you get people wanting to tell you what's happening, and so that we do prevention early. Because where we started with countering, but ideally we should do the prevention.
The Anti-Terror Police Unit has a heavy presence in the coastal region, where there were many cases of radicalization. However, NCTC says that the threat has reduced significantly.
The first thing we do with those communities is enlighten them on who the enemy is, the modus operandi of the enemy, and what the enemy intends to achieve. So you will find that you may think that because they are border communities they understand this. No, they don't. You may think that maybe because the administrators along those borders understand this. It's a technical problem. So they may not see it from the strategic point of view that we see it. So we let them know and tell them that when this enemy comes to you and gathers you together and gives you a lecture on the region, this is what they want you to think of yourselves as a bigger part of a bigger agenda that is supposed to make a great caliphate for this region. So we own the communities that way. So we engage, we have trained and engaged the local administrators, tell them what to watch out for, how this enemy will operate, and we have now the channels of reporting to their communities.
While there have been concerns on the presence of sleeper cells in the country, there has been expression of commitment to neutralize the threat through collaborations between government, the international community, and human rights advocacy organizations.
There have been so many measures that have been put in place over time that I feel confident that what other security agencies are doing is bearing fruit and should be able to contain attacks within this country. For us, it is to ensure that the pool from which they are being supplied with attackers are drained, and that communities are also incorporated into this warfare, and that we all know that what we need to know to safeguard our homeland. Yeah, but I am confident that in the tactical measures and the operational measures, they are well versed to undertake that. Terrorism is an intelligence war. It's about having as much credible information as you can. That small bit of information you have could be what an analyst needs to complete a chain. So it's important that they come forward, not to worry about it, but anything if you see there's something happening that is a bit, because people will tell that there's something offline happening in this neighborhood, bring forward that information. Don't fret about it.
The war against terror has been steady and progressive over the last decade. The enemy may have waged attacks on Kenyan soil, killing hundreds and creating a climate of fear, hurting the families that have lost their loved ones. National counter-terrorism efforts have proven that the country is unbowed with bolstered security and intelligence. Security agencies insist that this war shall be won slowly but surely, and in the end, it shall be a triumphant story. Melita Tenges, NTV at the coastal city of Mombasa.